Texting. Welcome back. Segment 2, IDD here on the Cape. Post 4th of July, July 5th, if you're scoring at home, boys and girls. The sun is trying to peek its head out. Could be a beach day this afternoon. Highly questionable on Arjun Miliaccio. Back in the hizzy IDD. I don't disagree. For those of you not in the know, my brother from an adjacent mother, Pete Miliaccio, back for his annual Cowboys take and status of the Boston Celtics. Segment 2, you saw this move. You were here when it happened. What was the reaction around you when word got out that Brad Stevens pulled this move off for Porzingis? What was the first thing that went through your head?
Hot and cold at first, because I am a huge Marcus Smart fan. I'm not afraid to admit it. I love his defense, always have, always will. I think he's done more good for the Celtics. This is just my overall opinion of him, not year to year. This is the overall opinion of him. I think he's been a positive Celtic. He's been a great attitude in the locker room. I get some of the antics wore thin, as far as whenever he punched the glass, whatever the hell that happened with the mirror when he was out for a game or something. And then you have instances where our media, RJ knows it well because he grew up here. We tend to our media, not us, but our media tends to sensationalize things a little bit. So whenever Marcus Smart says one thing, it's magnified. But what I pick up about Marcus, and RJ probably remembers this too because he's a Celtics fan, of course, is it's the plays that aren't on the stat sheet that I miss about Marcus Smart. Well, that I will miss. This is why it's a hot and cold take. Because I loved the plays he made. Like the play he made first round of the playoffs last year, last play of the game, the one where he made the assist for Jason Tatum for the layup to beat the Brooklyn Nets on the last play of the game, game 1. Marcus Smart makes game-winning plays. He makes steals. He causes turnovers. But he also, I agree with all of this part, he does take bad shot selection. Not all the time, but a lot of time. I mean,
how good a three-point shooter do you really think he is? Be honest.
I don't think he's a great three-point shooter.
Do you think he's even a good three-point shooter?
Yeah. When I say good, situational three-point shooter. I don't think he's an everyday. Once again, the league is bizarre. Let me get that off the top of my head first. I don't agree with the way basketball is played in this league right now. I do not agree with the amount of threes any team
It's all
is shooting.
Steph Curry's fault, by the way.
By the way, it kind of is. Because him and Klay Thompson basically broke records in everything they did.
They are the one-off.
And the problem is, it's like showing your kids to play basketball, trying to get them to play like Michael Jordan. You can't do that because your kids don't jump like Michael Jordan. They can't play like him. And if your kids don't hit half-court three-pointers like free throws the way Steph Curry does, you can't shoot threes every time in the game. And the bottom line is, you know why the Celtics miss threes at the end of games? Because they're tired. You can't just chuck up threes the whole game. Everyone's like, why are they cold? I don't know. It's game 6 of the third playoff series you've now played, and you've played 7-game series in every one of them, and every one of them you've proceeded to shoot more threes in the next one than the next game.
Every one of them you've dragged out because you played the wrong way.
Because exactly, you'd have a 20-point lead, yet you'd still be shooting threes when you could easily be taking twos.
How many times have the Celtics shot a team back into the game?
Almost every game they do.
That there, Joel.
The frustrating part for me is the Celtics
shoot teams back into the game.
And the thing is, too, I love Kristaps Porzingis. I do like this move a lot because he is healthy, which is nice. And the only question you have about big men today, and every player I might add in the NBA today, because it seems like they're getting injured more frequently than they ever have.
Given the game's not as
it's not
near as physical.
So I don't get why these guys are dropping like flies and all this game. I think to be honest with you, RJ, I think all of this load management stuff is hurting them, not helping
killing them.
They're not tough enough. These guys are weak.
This is a bunch of soft serve ice.
I mean, Jordan and Stockton both played. Jordan, when he was 40, played 82 games for the Wizards the whole season as an old man. He played the whole season. John Stockton played every game.
Larry Bird, whose career was cut short by injury, played 82 games 3 times.
Yeah, literally 3 times.
Kevin Durant hasn't done it once.
Well, and by the way, I'm not picking on any one player. This is how the league is.
It's a league problem. It's not one player.
So that being said, and RG, I know you saw this on the news a couple of times too, which made it a little bit frustrating for me. And it actually, because whenever they asked Joe Mazzula, why did you take so many threes? Oh, I don't think we took enough. That's his answer. His answer is they didn't take enough. That is what scares me about the Celtics. That being said, what I loved about them last year, not this year they just lost.
What did you love about them
last year? The year they lost in the finals. 2 years, sorry. Last year. Don't forget, we haven't had this year yet for the season. The season ended. The year before last, when they got to the finals, when they turned it on after January with Ime Udoka coaching them, that defense, which was led by Marcus Smart, was locked in.
They were the best defense I'd seen since the 08 Celtics.
Literally. They were loaded.
That 3-month stretch, that's how good they were.
No, let's be realistic. I mean, I know you're a fan of the Celtics. You saw them. Was Marcus Smart not the leader of that defense?
Marcus Smart, up until this year, was one of the best perimeter defenders I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I say up until this year. The moment he got that trophy, his defense went. I'm sorry. When Gabe Vincent becomes a household name, that's on Marcus Smart. Yeah. Marcus Smart 2 years ago, Gabe Vincent wouldn't have been able to take a piss without Marcus Smart being there to shake it for him. Marcus Smart wasn't the same defensive player. Now, Ime Udoka not being here was probably part of that because he stressed defense, and Mazzula stresses fast break, three-point chuck and duck offense, which is not sustainable in this league unless you have a guy named Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, and that's why no other team has won this way.
For example,
look at the Houston Rockets with James Harden when D'Antoni was coaching. They actually
James Harden can hit him.
Mike D'Antoni is the guy who started this fast break chuck and duck offense. That's Houston shot themselves out of a series doing.
And
this.
The sad part is it's not going away.
No, it's not.
It's not because
actually, you're wrong. Who won the title this year?
I know. I agree with that.
And who was the dominant player?
I know that too. It was
who won the MVP this year?
This year was
Embiid.
Yeah,
So there's Giannis. The big man is coming back, which is why the Porzingis move makes even more sense.
Yeah, but even the big man, like
Golden
for example,
State's getting old.
The number one pick,
Golden State's getting old,
and
that way of doing that offense, that chuck is going away. The Celtics, anybody watching this Celtics team would look at that offense and say, "There's no way in hell we're going to try and play that style of play."
No, they shouldn't.
They shot themselves out of a championship.
And the thing is, this is what scares me about.
This
is what scares me about getting Porzingis. As much as I love his productivity and the fact that he's 7'2", the wingspan,
7'3",
7'3", and if you keep him with Robert Williams and Al Horford, that's a good team. That's a very good upfront team.
They've got 3 20-point scorers who are below the age of 28.
Exactly.
That is a problem every team in this league would kill to have. Number one. Number two, they can play the two-man game that Denver won a championship with two guys, because he can pick and pop like Jokic. He shoots just like him. He goes to the basket just like him, and he's bigger, he's taller, and he's younger. And the Celtics have 2 wing players you can play this style of, Brown and Tatum. Look, that's huge.
The only problem with our wing players in this,
they settle for the 3-2.
That's the obvious, but that's every wing player. But ours, we're talking about our team, so let's just stick with ours. Yeah, they settle for the 3 too much.
Way too much.
And 2, I don't know what it is, because they're both incredible athletes, but I see Jaylen Brown go to the hole, and usually I see him, he scores, but when he goes to his left, they pick him like ever.
Because he doesn't read the defense.
Yeah, but he
dribbles with his, when he goes left, you've watched this, he dribbles with his head down.
He's an NBA professional.
I have talked about this forever with you. Okay, the coaching level in this country has gone down. High school players, when you and I were playing, learned how to do this shit. These guys are telling the high school coach what to do. They're telling the AAU coach what to do. These guys aren't teaching them shit. They are agents. They are business agents. They gather the talent, they throw them on a court, and then if they get to college, the college coach thinks, "Oh, I can fix that." Well, not in the one and done scenario can you fix that, because they're there 1 year and they're gone. Okay? This is the problem with this game. This is why Europe has caught up. And Europe has caught up. Make no mistake. Luka Doncic, the Greek freak is from Greece. Europe has caught up, and Jokic. They're 3 of the top 5 players in this league right now.
And by the way,
that's a fact.
And by the way,
okay?
I submit to you, and I'm just being honest, if you took, and I'm not trying to name, these are just guys that everyone will know their names. If you took Patrick Ewing right now and put him in this league, he'd dominate.
He'd kill it. He'd kill it.
35
again.
As much as I like Luka,
as much as I love
Jokic, I love him.
Ewing would eat him up and spin him out. David Robinson,
an average center.
David Robinson would eat him up and Shaq.
Yeah.
Olajuwon.
My point exactly. But he's won 2 MVPs already. And now a championship.
And Embiid has won another one. And Shaq would take a shit on both of them.
And
so would Robinson, and so would Olajuwon, and so would you.
And by the way, I absolutely, and I know you do too, I love Giannis's game. I love it. But he has no post moves.
Nope.
But what he does, he is just
Brook Lopez is 7, can't post up his mother.
No, and the sad part is, you know what the sad part is? Brook Lopez used to be known for his post game. The only reason he's still in the NBA today is because he learned how to shoot threes, and he's a big man, and that's insane to me. You have that guy that big, who was, by the way, he's got a twin brother.
Basketball has become nothing more than one-on-one and one playground and 3-point shooting range. That's all it is.
So for that,
they've taken away the art of the post game. And the good news for people like you and I is that Jokic won a championship and Embiid won the MVP. And this is a copycat league and everything else. That's why Brad Stevens made the move for the 7-4. Porzingis has a post game.
And also Porzingis can shoot.
And he can shoot. He can do both. So it's going back this way.
The question is,
you watched March Madness.
Yeah.
There was a slew of big men, like 6'10" and above, that could play inside and out. It's going back the other way. And
The reason also that I like this move, I'm being honest, because even you didn't do it, but everyone did a little bit. There is no Marcus Smart anymore to blame, guys. Now it's on you, Tatum. It's on you, Brown. I don't want to hear that Marcus Smart took the wrong shot. It's on you guys.
Let me explain this again. And I loved Marcus Smart probably more than he did because one of my staples as a player was defense, and even he will admit that. Bottom line is, I wouldn't just drop 20 on you. I'd take your best player and lock him down. Yeah. I was the classic both-end player, and he saw it up close. So even he and his pissed-off jet will admit it because he saw it. Okay, the bottom line is, Marcus Smart, when he played defense,
was great.
Was as good. Tony Allen is the guy I think of for the Celtics back in the 08. He was a stopper.
And don't forget, he's the only guard.
The point
Since
is, Marcus Smart is a point guard who only averages 4 assists per game for his career. And I said this with Sean on Saturday. You can't average 4 assists per game when you've got a 27-point scorer over here and a 30-point scorer over here.
No.
Minimum.
Yeah.
You should be averaging 8.
Now, hold up.
Minimum.
Question for you, though. I have a question.
And he averaged 2 assists per game.
Hold up. This is a basketball question for you. You play. You know the game just like I do. And we know the numbers can be misleading in ways. With the way they played, once again, I'm going to talk 2 years ago, too, because it was his best year, Marcus Smart, and then you have this year where the team just didn't gel. So
they didn't play defense.
Exactly. So we can try to blame the coach or whatever. I'm not trying to place blame. I'm just trying to figure something out.
They took 9 more threes per game this year than last year.
They did, exactly.
9, that's 9 possessions.
How were the what was the passing like the year before compared to this year, this past year?
I don't remember what the assist total was. I just remember that they took more threes this year than last year.
They did, but they also worked
and it killed them.
They also worked
and it was a two. They didn't play defense as well as they did the year before.
Yeah, but don't you remember the year? Don't you remember the year before in the playoffs? I'm not talking about the championship because they got tired and they folded in the championship. I'm talking about the series up to that. Look how well they worked the ball around. They did pass the ball.
But the thing is, they still, and Sean Darcy and I talked about this on Saturday, how many layups did they pass up for threes?
I agree. That's
utterly ridiculous.
That has always been their biggest problem.
There isn't a shot blocker in the lane, and you're passing up a layup for a 3.
Well, by the way, that isn't just Smart. That's all of them.
No, but Smart was the ringleader on that. He's the point guard.
Yeah, but do you remember the 3 that he made it, but it didn't count this year? That was on Jason Tatum going for the hole.
I don't want to hear about the
37%
percentage he took on 800 threes.
I'm not talking about his percentages. Like I said, I agree with the trade. I miss his defense. I don't miss his threes at all.
I miss his defense for a year because he didn't play it last year. He didn't even make all defensive second team this year. But Derek White did.
What I'm worried about the Celtics, being honest, what I'm worried about the Celtics is you can tell me who the leaders are all you want, who the best players are all you want. You don't have a leader on that club. You don't have anybody.
Jason Tatum.
He's not.
Well, he better be now.
He's got to be.
He's been on that team for how many years?
What, 6?
It's 7? His team now. This move did 2 things. It took the responsibility out of Marcus Smart's hands to be the leader and put it right in Jason Tatum's lap. Brad Stevens sent a loud and clear message to Tatum and Brown. This is your team
is it Tatum's
now.
Or Brown's?
It's Tatum's.
You just said Tatum and Brown, which is...
Well, there's 2 leaders. It's like Pippen and Jordan.
No.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was the leader. There was no Pippen.
Shut the hell up. He was the second fiddle to Jordan.
He was B.
That's what Brown is to Tatum. He's B.
You don't think it's a little closer?
Nope, I don't. It's clearly Tatum's team. And you know what? Jaylen Brown proved that in Game 7 when Tatum went down with injury and Brown, who was supposed to step up, crapped all over himself and had probably his worst performance
Now we're getting
ever.
somewhere.
We're not getting anywhere. He's not Tatum. It's Tatum's team.
I'm aware of that, but you were. I know we were talking about Smart and Porzingis. I get that, but you were kind of heaping a lot of the blame on Smart when
Smart was the leader in that locker room, not Tatum.
Why? How did Smart become the leader in the locker room?
Because he was the longest tenured Celtic. That was what they said. And
what about Al Horford?
And that was part of the problem. No,
I mean leadership-wise.
Al Horford hasn't been a Celtic all 9 years of his career.
No, I know he is. I know that.
Marcus Smart was the longest tenured Celtic. That's why he was the leader in the locker room.
So what happened?
Right or wrong?
Other than the only thing I can point a finger to, and I'm sure you can too, is the coaching change. What changed between Ime Udoka and
at least 2 years ago?
Yeah.
When they were still jacking too many threes.
They were.
At least they would. When you push came to shove, they'd play defense.
Yeah, they played
because Udoka held them accountable for that, which Mazzula did not.
So what do you think?
And they started the big lineup most of the year. Mazzula started that small.
What the hell was that?
Lineup, and then when he finally went back to, he saved their ass. They lost that Philly series if he didn't make that move before Game 6. And Tatum stunk that game until the end. But the one was they were ahead in that whole game because he went back to that lineup. So Mazzula, this is where I give Mazzula credit. He swallowed his pride and he made a change that I didn't think he had. He did the right thing before it was too late. The Miami series, they didn't show up. That's not all Mazzula. That team, they went 7 games with them last year. How on earth they thought they were going to cakewalk through that team? Because they did. They thought they were going to bury them because they were the 8th seed. They were injured. Miami was injured all year long. If Miami wasn't hurt,
Everyone keeps forgetting, too.
They wouldn't have been an 18. And Boston took them lightly, and that's why they inevitably lost, because they're stupid. And I've been saying this for the dumbest Celtic team I've ever seen, because how do you go 7 games with a team the year before and think it's going to be a cakewalk the next year in the conference finals again? However they got there, was Miami there or not? They were there.
Miami should have beat us last year.
Yeah, because we were stupid.
I mean, they just didn't hit the shots. Yeah, it's really all
But
it is.
Boston this year on paper was much better than them. We added Brogdon. We had the 6th man award winner this year.
Brogdon
We were a better team on paper this year.
I know.
It shouldn't have been close. They should have beat Miami in 5.
Yeah, but we lost.
But because they played the game the wrong way, they don't play to their style, which should be slashing those dudes from the wings and defense, locking people down. That should be the Celtics game.
The bottom line is when the players start, and I'm not saying this happened. Well, it might have happened, but I'm not saying it did. I don't know. I wasn't in the locker room. But if the players aren't able to be coached, you can't win. I'm sorry. You have to be able to coach your players. There's a reason that LeBron James has more losses than wins in the finals.
Because he runs the team.
It doesn't work.
And Miami got rid of him because they weren't going to do it. No. Pat Riley was not going to do things his way.
No, of course he's not.
Like, no, get out of here. You ain't done. Get out of here. You won when you came here. I've got rings without you.
He does.
He does. Pat Riley doesn't need LeBron. He's proven that.
Look at it this way. The Miami Heat aren't lucky. They're not lucky.
No.
They beat, first of all, they didn't just beat us. They beat everybody to get there. They beat, I get that Giannis went down, but they smoked them. That wasn't even close.
He missed 3 games, basically.
Yeah, and they did.
I don't think if he missed 3 games, Miami beats them. Because I'll
I
tell you
don't
what,
really either.
Milwaukee has a similar mentality. That's why they want to tie.
Well, Milwaukee
but they
has
just lost Giannis.
Milwaukee has the best alpha dog maybe in the league. He's the best leader. He leads by example. He plays unbelievable defense, and he's a monster on the offense.
No, the best leader in this league is Jokic. He's proved that this year.
Well, he won a championship, yeah.
Well, he won 2 MVPs before that. And I got news for you. If Denver wasn't injured last year, when he faced Golden State, there was no Porter Jr., there was no Kyle Murray. They were both out. If they played, they beat Golden State last year.
Yeah, but
they wiped the floor with them this
You
year.
can say that about Milwaukee.
Saying,
you can say that about Milwaukee.
I'm saying that he didn't lose, but he lost because he was alone, not because he look at his numbers in that Golden State series. He played his ass off. He was just alone.
What I'm saying is if Milwaukee doesn't lose Giannis and they win, they might have beat us this year.
They might.
We didn't play well.
Actually, Milwaukee was the one team we played well against.
Yeah,
because you know why? Because they considered them a threat.
Yeah.
The Celtics. This was the other problem. The Celtics would only show up when they felt like they were threatened.
Well,
look at game one. Look at game 1 against Philly when Embiid was out of line. They thought that they literally thought that game was over.
And by the way, the Celtics always do this.
That's because they're stupid. They're fucking. Kevin Garnett would never have let that happen.
Kevin Garnett.
Larry Bird would never let. Paul Pierce, as dumb as he was, wouldn't have let that happen. Okay, there's no way. Those guys were like, these are a different breed. You said it yourself. There's a different breed. These guys are soft. They're soft, sir. All of them. Every damn one of them. Jokic is old school. Giannis is old school. You listen to those two talk, they don't sound like this
from
generation.
Europe. Different
They
mentality.
had to work to get here. They worked to get here. They were playing pro ball in their teens. They were playing against men in their teens. So the bottom line is they've caught up because our mentality has changed. We're not teaching fundamentals to the lower. Jaylen Brown goes left, he loses the ball. How is an all-NBA player, a guard, mind you, can't go left?
I don't. It eludes
with
me
his talent.
Because they say
with his talent.
So they say the talent in the league right now is better than it's ever been.
It's not.
So they say.
It's not.
You've heard them say that too.
Yeah, and I laugh at them every time I hear it because I'm listening to a bunch of yahoos who have to write stories. They got to say something.
And if I have to hear Nick Wright even, why is Nick Wright even allowed to speak?
Nick Wrong?
Why is he allowed to speak?
Nick Wrong, you mean?
Yeah, he is terrible.
Oh, you should hear his take on the Patriots. He's an idiot.
I swear to God, they put people on just to get takes.
Yeah, idiot. Anyway, so you like the move.
I like the move because I didn't like the direction of where the team.
No, I think they're going back
going.
towards more going to the basket.
Do I think ultimately it's the right move? Yes. The reason being because you had Marcus Smart, you had a chance to win with Marcus Smart the right way with defense, and you didn't.
They had him for 2 years. Brad Stevens deduced that we can't win with this guy. He made a hard decision.
Or they should have already, and they didn't.
They didn't play the right style to win.
Yeah, but you said yourself they blew the final last year.
They coughed it up.
They were there.
They were
had
there,
their chance.
but the problem is they didn't get it done.
I get it.
And now you look at who's out there. It's Giannis. Who's in your way? Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic.
What's the definition?
What do?
What's the definition of insanity? So they say, repeating the same thing over and over.
Expecting a different result. Yeah.
So they did need to make the change.
Yeah,
because
they had to make a philosophical change.
And what I'm
this
hoping
move
happens,
makes.
but that's the problem is, does this move? This is what scares me because I don't know. I don't trust Mazzula. I just don't. He hasn't done enough for me to trust him.
He's only been there 1 year.
I know, but they clearly.
He did go back to the big lineup before it was too late.
He did, and they did.
And by the way, in Game 3 against Miami, when the players didn't show up, he fell on the sword for them. That wasn't on him. How on earth in Game 3, if you suck like that in Game 1, you come out that flat in Game 3? That was them.
I don't hate the guy as a person. I do not like his coaching style. I do not like this three-point, this crap.
Well, this means they're going away from that because you don't go grab a guy like this to shoot more threes.
This guy shoots better threes
than
Marcus
Smart. But he doesn't shoot them as often. He also goes inside.
I get that, but he shoots threes.
Means they're going to get back to going to the basket more.
I hope you are right.
Denver was 14th in the league in three-point attempts. They were number 2 in three-point efficiency. Think about that. They can play this game with Porzingis.
I think they can too, but once again,
they will.
Are they going to stay with the same exact damn philosophy of just chucking threes the way Mazzula wanted? I don't like that style of play.
Was second on the team in three-point attempts.
Well, now he's gone.
He's gone. That tells me they're not going to stick with that.
Just because he had the ball in his hands last doesn't mean they didn't want him to chuck the three.
Bottom line is he'd go to the basket, he'd kick it out for threes just like the rest of them. And he was the voice in the locker room. And it's got to be Tatum. To your point, it's got to be Tatum's team now. And by the way, he's old enough now to take the reins. He's 26 years old. It's his team. It's time to man up and be that dude.
My worry about the Celtics this year, coming into this year, is it's, once again, I love the moves they made a coach. I love they brought in some assistants to help him out. I love
they brought back Sam Cassell, who was
back.
on the 08 team.
Yep.
They brought in some guys to help him, and that was smart.
Which is good.
That's smart.
And I love that what's his name, the GM there?
Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens is still going out. He just got another defensive player from Indiana.
Indiana, another star, another 6'7".
I like that.
Yes.
See, I like that they're bringing in defensive guys because.
But again, they're not bringing in shooters.
No.
They're bringing in defensive guys, which tells me they're going to get back to going to the basket. It's not like they're not going to shoot threes, but it's not going to be the primary focal point of their offense.
No, they never.
Because if it was, they'd have brought in shooters, not defensive guys. They want to get out and run. When they're in transition with those two guys, that's what they're at their best.
The scary thing is for me, and I don't know
but
if you
do that by playing defense.
Did you ever see the math on this to make it true? What is with the eggheads in this league that run the league, that make the decisions on how offenses are going to be run? When did they all of a sudden figure out that you're going to make a higher percentage of threes for more points than you would twos? When twos, you can.
That's the Mike D'Antoni philosophy, and if you don't have Curry, look, you have to have. This is what I was trying to explain to Joel. You can't run that offense without knockdown shooters. There is no Ray Allen on this roster.
No.
There is no Larry Bird on this roster. There's no Danny Ainge on this roster. Those are the knockdown. There's no Jerry Seasting on this roster. They don't have guys like that. Eddie House was a knockdown shooter. They don't have guys like that on this roster. You can't play that style of play. Now, I think Pritchard and Hauser could be those guys if they played them, but they don't play them enough.
Don't the Celtics at least think that Tatum is?
Nope. They think Tatum is an all-around three-level scorer. And by the way, he is. Because you don't average 30 points a game by being a three-point shooter. You're a three-level scorer.
No, I meant, do you think he's the same quality of
three-point shooter? He's not a knockdown shooter.
Okay, you don't think he is?
No.
Okay.
He's not. He's not a 40%. You have to be a knockdown three-point shooter.
How many guys are 40 in the league? 2?
No, I'd say there's 6 or 7 of them now.
Are there 6 or 7?
Yeah, there's 6 or 7 of them now.
Didn't even know.
So, in any event, so we like these moves on paper. We will revisit this at Christmas time when I see him. But right now, you like it. I think they're the favorite to come out of the East with the moves they've made because they've got a three-headed monster now that's all young and not even entering their prime yet. And I like to your point about the defensive guys they've brought in. They're big, they're long, they're athletic. Brad Stevens is doing the right thing here. And I think it's going to pay dividends down the road. The question is, and I think Derek White's the right guy to play point guard because he will pass the ball. And he'll go to the basket, and he plays defense.
About Derek White, I don't worry about it. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm worried about it. I don't know how great of a ball handler he is. I don't know if he needs to be a great ball handler.
He's a guard. He doesn't. Derek White doesn't have. You look at his turnover. He's not that dude. He wasn't the ball coughing the ball.
No, he had a great year.
It was Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown. Okay.
Well, who else they got? They got to add a little more backcourt depth. I'd say.
No, they've got it. They've got Brogdon. They've got him.
Yeah,
they've
but
got Peyton Pritchard.
Are they looking to deal Brogdon?
That'd be crazy.
I didn't say I wanted it to happen, but it seems like they were going to deal Brogdon first. They were going to deal Smart.
The only reason he got hurt in the Miami series on his shooting arm.
Yeah, but wouldn't you agree?
And he kept shooting threes.
Yeah, but wouldn't you agree that we're dealing Smart anyway? They didn't just do a 360.
They dealt Smart to get Porzingis. It was the right move.
I know, but they were originally going to deal Brogdon.
Yeah, because really they weren't going to get rid of Smart. That's why Brad Stevens made a decision that he had to make.
Yeah, but he did it in 40 minutes, which means they were moving on from Smart anyway.
I think they were.
Yeah.
Because they knew he can't be the voice in the locker room.
But my point is they're also trying to move on from Brogdon, too.
Brogdon's not the leader in that locker room. He never was.
Yeah, but he's a scorer. What I'm saying is if you get
I don't think because I think they were going to move one of them, not both of them.
All right, well, if that's true. But if it's not, say they move on from Brogdon, what are they going to get for a guard? What are they looking to get?
I don't know. I wouldn't move on from Brogdon. I don't know what they're thinking.
Because also,
If
who
they
else doesn't
think
want
they can get similar production in a younger guy who's bigger, that's probably what they would do.
Okay.
If they're thinking that. I don't know.
I think they're going for either starter or a backup.
I personally think
backup
Brogdon
point
shouldn't
guard.
go anywhere because he's the Sixth Man of the Year award winner and he wants to win a championship and his head's in the right place. He was just hurt. He got hurt. That also hurt him, the Misers. He got hurt. He was a shell of himself.
Yeah, but is he? I don't. Brogdon seems professional, so maybe this won't bother him. But is he the type of guy that's going to be a baby about being in in a trade situation?
No, he's no. But I don't think they're going to trade him. And if they are, it better be significant.
Well, don't forget, when I say he's Brown's buddy, he's not. But Brown was definitely one of the deciding factors on him coming here. He recommended him.
Yeah.
Brown's a big fan of his. And it sounds like they're going to give Brown a super deal, the super max. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it should happen before the
Well,
the
they're
season.
trying to talk out the guaranteed and the no trade clause.
Yeah, they're going to.
The paperwork.
Bottom line is
The
they're doing it.
paperwork. Yeah,
They are going to do
They're
it.
not moving him. And they shouldn't move
So
him.
they're keeping Brown and
Tatum,
Tatum, which is good.
and they're going to extend Porzingis out to 3 years, so they're going to have this three.
Which I like.
That's right.
Which I like.
I have
And
no problem
also,
with
they're keeping Horford for another year, which is awesome.
Yeah, off the bench, he's fine. He's not a starter
The
anymore.
only guy I think they need to figure out how much they're going to play him and what they're going to do with him, and also the other guy they need to figure out is if they're going to trade him or not, is Grant Williams and Robert Williams. What are you going to do with the Williams brothers? I know they're not really brothers.
I think they're more inclined to keep the Time Lord than they are.
Well, he's a great shot blocker, so I get that. He's also an incredibly efficient scorer around the hoop. He just doesn't shoot.
So, in conclusion, we are a thumbs up on this one.
So far, yeah. So far.
Wait
It's
and
very early, but yes.
I will be back with John later on today. We're going to do pot stirring 101 with the Patriots and Kraft and Belichick, the most overrated coach in history. Ha ha. And again, but facts. I'll just give you facts. Just give you the number.
He has 6 Super Bowls. Actually, 8.
Yeah. Parcells and Brady, or I should say LT and Brady.
Yeah, he's
But anyway,
the luckiest guy in the world.
it's great. It's great to have you back. Missed you.
You too.
We will see you later on today on IDD. Enjoy the weather. The sun is finally back out here on the Cape. Hopefully, you get out to the beach, and we'll be recording back tonight. We will be delving into the Patriots a little further, and we'll also give you a status update on the Red Sox. Buyers or sellers at the deadline. We will talk about that. So until then, you guys enjoy the afternoon. That is Pete Miliaccio, the brother from Not Jason Mother, Mr. Brother. Highly questionable Roger Miliaccio. We will see you guys very, very soon. And remember, boys and girls, don't be like Aaron Rodgers. Stay loose.